As soon as I tell golfers I used to train for more speed and went through 117 to 118 miles an hour on average, all the way up to swinging over 130 miles an hour clubhead speed, the two main questions I get asked are: number one, how did I do it? But the second one is, why can't I increase my swing speed? These golfers tell me they've tried everything: speed training, hitting the gym, eating the right foods, tracking all the data, but still struggle to see any results. At best, a couple of miles an hour more on the launch monitor. While doing this one simple key I'm about to show you, you could possibly be missing out on as much as 5 to 10 miles an hour on your swing speed. But before we reveal this, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Harry. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. PGA golf professional transforming golfers worldwide, down here from the Golf Projects. And make sure you drop a comment down below of a tips or drills video topic you'd like me to cover in a future video. And whilst doing so, why not hit the subscribe button, as I am posting content like this 3 times a week to help you transform your golf game. So going back to this key then, to unlock your true swing speed potential, it's really important that we understand that the lower body and the upper body play different roles in the swing. And to maximize the speed, we want to be knowing how we can get this lower body to initiate in the downswing, but also how we can get the upper body to get this whip effect on the way through. And both of these combine to form a much quicker and more reliable swing. So kicking off with the lower body. And I want you to picture the lower body as the engine to that car we drive. If we want to be swinging quicker, if we want to be driving faster, we need to get this engine working as efficiently and as fast as possible. And to do this, many golfers think they need rotation all the way up to the top of the swing and all the way down and through to impact. And you are right if you're thinking this, but we need another combination of 2 other aspects to make sure we're getting this lower body initiating correctly in the downswing. The other 2 are the tilt and getting the ground reaction force to take place. So to begin with then, you don't need a golf club. You're just going to set up as you usually would, and you're going to take your hands across the shoulders like this here. From this position here, all you're going to do is try and get your back to face towards the target. So for anyone in the indoor golf facilities like I am here, you're trying to get your back facing towards the net, your target, all the way up to the top of the swing. And what you'll notice when you're doing this is that your right hip will just naturally rotate away from that golf ball. And the same thing applies on the downswing and through phase. If we imagine now we're going to get the chest working towards the target, we'll start to notice this lead hip of ours work away from the golf ball, getting this rotation, this natural rotation to take place in the swing. So once we've done a couple of swings, moving back and rotating up to the top and rotating through to finish, you can see here all I'm thinking about is back to target, chest to target, and it's initiating these hips to work away from the golf ball. We can then bring in the tilt, so phase 2. So now we're going to take our hands and place them either side of our thighs like so, and all I want you to do just for the time being is forget about trying to rotate. So you're just going to tilt like this here. So I'm trying to extend the trail side of my upper body, okay, really get this stretch move taking place. And you can see here I'm allowing my right arm, as a right-handed golfer, the trail arm to lift upwards as my lead arm tilts downwards towards the lead foot there. You can really feel this stretch taking place, so you can exaggerate this. The more you exaggerate this, the better. You don't have to go all the way down here and feel this horrendous stretch, just somewhere almost towards your knee, if not slightly above the knee. I've got longer arms, so it's easy for me to get to the knee. So just think to a point ever so slightly above that knee there. Once you've done this tilt here, you can then start to bring the next point, which is the follow-through stage again. We're trying to get this extension in the lead side of the body. So no rotation taking place just for the time being. We're just getting this motion here to take place as well. Now we're trying to get our trail arm to almost touch the trail knee. So I'm getting this extension here now and flexion now in the trail side. So we're from here up to the top, getting this extension in the trail side, then extension in the lead side of the body. Combining that with that rotation, all I want you to think now is, because we got the back working towards the target and getting this hip out of the way, think of hip rotating away as we're getting this tilt to take place. So hip away, tilt to take place up to the top of your swing. So really extending this trail side of the body all the way up to the top of your swing, and you can see that I'm getting a much greater amount of rotation up to the top of the swing from doing this, and you can see here how much better that rotation looks now just because I'm adding this tilt into place. Before, when we were rotating, the tendency is for us to get a little bit too lateral, so from this movement here, having this tilt taking place allows me to stay very much so on this 45-degree angle here. So we're rotating and we're tilting up to the top of the swing, and the same thing applies on the downswing. So lead hip is now moving away from the golf ball, chest is working towards the target, and we're feeling this extension taking place in the lead side of the body. So it's extension and rotation up to the top of the swing here, then extension and rotation all the way through to the finish position. And then eventually you can start to bring this chest working back to target on the way through. So how this looks all in one motion, up to the top, through to finish. So we're rotating and we're tilting in our swing. So we've got the rotation, we've got the tilting taking place, and now we want to be adding in this final concept. Think of these two here as like the two keys that help you gain more consistency with increasing that swing speed, because you're doing this more efficiently, getting that engine working the correct motion. But now we need to get the engine working harder, and to this we produce the ground reaction forces. So what I want you to think here is, if I was to just try and jump as high as I can, okay, I'm not going to jump too high, otherwise I'd hit my head on the TrackMan, but if I was to jump as high as I can, what would I need to do to jump upwards? We would go down to jump up. The same thing happens in the golf swing. In order for us to produce more power through the ground, we've got to be squatting down into the ground and adding more pressure, creating more pressure through the ground to generate this effortless, more swing speed that we're after. So to do this, all you're going to do is take your hands, get them back on your thighs like so, and as you're swinging to the top, everything stays normal. Everything stays normal from the top, so we're still thinking about this tilt, this rotation taking place. And I would recommend just going and working on those 2 pointers just for at least 10 swings, so back and forth, before you begin to add the third thing in. But now you've done this, let's just say, let's add that third thing in. So tilt and rotate up to the top of the swing and back to target. From this point now, we want to be adding more pressure into the ground without moving our upper body. So now the key here is the lower body really initiating to the ground, and the more you can exaggerate this, the better. Too many golfers I see will first off try and add this pressure, transfer their weight almost too early. Think of those ground reaction forces. If we're going to add pressure in this direction, okay, for every force acting on a stationary object, there's an equal and exact opposite force acting upon it. So if it's well, if we're pushing down in this direction, it's going to be pushed back away. So this is where we tend to get this early extension, this reverse center of pressure taking place in our downswing, this leaning back, early extending away from the golf ball. So when you're doing this, it's really important that we ensure that all the pressure is 50-50 in each foot, and we're adding it straight into the ground. So we're up to the top, tilt and rotate, and then we're squatting down. And as I mentioned earlier, the more you exaggerate this, the better. And I know what you're thinking now, hang on a sec. That looks like we're dipping way too much in height. This is just because you're exaggerating this as much as you can. When it comes to hitting a few golf shots and combining this upper body move I'm going to explain later on, it won't happen anywhere near as much. It's just going to feel like you're adding more pressure to gain this more relaxed swing speed. This much quicker swing speed is what I meant to say there. So up to the top, adding this pressure here, and then for the final step here, all we're going to do is we're going to push upwards and get this chest working again towards the target, getting this hip clearing out the way and extending upwards all the way through to the finish position. So how this works in combination, the three, we've got the rotation, we've got the tilt, we've got that ground reaction force taking place now. From the top, we're tilting and rotating up to the top of our swing, getting that back working towards the target. Then we're squatting down, pressing down into the ground, adding this pressure. And if you want, you can hold it for a minute just to get a good feel for where this is. And you can see, here's a good indication for you, by the way. I don't want to see any of you go this way. We're not going to rotate and squat down at the same time. If we rotate and squat down at the same time, where's the pressure moving? Moving into this foot. So we're going to get the reaction and jump away. So we're going up to the top, adding the pressure here. You can see that my chest, my upper body's not moving. I'm just squatting down. From here now we're pushing up and chest, working towards the target. As you start to do this in stages 1, 2, 3, you can then, after a few swings, get used to doing this all in one motion. And to do this, it just takes a couple of reps by going nice and slow and trying to get the pauses taking place for a shorter amount of time. Here's a good example of one where we're taking too long with the pauses to try and get it all in one motion. Okay, there's a lot of pausing there in between, you can see that, right? So with this one here, I'm going nice and slow, 1, 2, 3. You can see it's all working into one motion there. It didn't look like on the camera that there was a pause, did there, on any of those steps in between? Well, it did feel like there was for me. So if you do this nice and slow, you can really allow yourself to start building this into all in one motion. And then from there, you can begin to build this up into a much quicker, more efficient lower body move, getting that initiation in that downswing. So it's up, down, through, up, down, through. So now you've got used to that, we can start to bring in a club into this, because now it's time to move on to how the upper body and the arms should be working, getting this whip effect to take place in the golf swing. Too many golfers end up getting this almost stiff look in their golf swing, trying to get in all sorts of positions on the downswing. And the trouble with this is it's very difficult to generate more speed doing this, more efficient, faster swing speed in your golf game. So the key to this is allowing the arms and the shoulders just to relax, let the shoulder joints just roll around for a minute, allow the arms just to flow and take all this stiffness out the arms, because you're going to find it so much easier to get this whip effect taking place in the swing. And if I was to completely forget about positions for now and just make a swing with my arms, just allowing this almost whip to take place, dead relaxed, letting them do whatever they want, it's much easier to create speed. You can even do a couple of practice swings doing this one-handed. I wouldn't recommend doing too many with one hand, but just have a couple of swings allowing this club to whip through. And you can hear that noise there taking place just from me getting this arm to flow, not caring at all about positions in the downswing. You can see there, so much easier for me to create speed, as opposed to keeping this arm dead tense, trying to get into positions. I can't physically get that club to swing any quicker than that. Whereas if you listen to this, so much easier. And now you've got this whipping effect taking place, you understand what it feels like to get this whip taking place, relaxing the upper body and the arms. We can start to bring in this combination of the lower body and the upper body in the golf swing to take place. So you can see here I've got a high lofted iron just to start off with. I'd recommend this rather than going straight into driver, because all we're interested in is getting this speed, and then we can apply this to every single club in the bag. So both hands on the club, but address as normal, and all we're going to do is we're going to get this hip working away from that golf ball, as we remember from that rotation, and getting this tilt taking place up to the top of the swing, with our aim to get that back facing towards the target. So in simple terms, we're getting that back facing towards the target, and you can see I'm not forcing my arms, keeping them tense to swing and get them into these positions. I'm going to allow this initiation of that lower body to take the club all the way up to the top of the swing. I'm getting this rotation and tilt, and just watch this, relax the arms, and if I do this, I'm just allowing the club to set in the top of the swing more naturally, keeping them relaxed, keeping the shoulder joints relaxed and the arms relaxed, working all the way up to the top of the swing. Yes, there's got to be a little bit of tension in the grip just to keep hold of the club, but I would just let everything flow. Forget about positions in the swing. Don't worry about it. Just let the body take the club to the top of the swing for you. Getting this rotation and tilt and getting this club to work up to the top of the swing. So for the second point, we're just simply squatting down, adding that pressure into the ground, really encouraging this feeling here. And you can see, just a little bonus tip for you, I'm not moving my arms down, I'm not forcing them on the outside. Too many golfers, I notice when they do this, they go this way again. You can see it, I'm rotating and squatting at the same time. It's causing that club now to work too far out to win. So just make sure when you're doing this, work it up to the top and squat down, holding this angle as you're adding that pressure into the ground. Just remember, in the golf swing, it's only going to be for a split second in the downswing. that move's going to take place. So we've got stage 1, rotating and tilting up to the top. Stage 2, adding this pressure into the ground. Stage 3, we're pushing upwards, getting that chest to work towards the target, and we're whipping that club through. So back to target for the backswing, squat down, push off, and whip that club through. And now we can start to bring this into a couple of full swings, and I'd recommend you doing at least 10 to 15 practice swings in steps before you start to then bring this all into one motion. And again, to get this all in one motion, it's going slow again, just like we were working on with that lower body. Getting this rotation and tilt, pressure down, working it through, pushing upwards, chest to target, but we're just whipping that club on the way through, relaxing the upper body. So we're going up, down, through. There it is, all in one flow. And it'll be much easier for you as you start to bring this quicker on the way through to get that natural whip taking place. Nice and slow to begin with, up. And that felt really nice, dead easy for me to do. And then once you've hit a couple of shots getting used to that, we can start to bring in the driver and do the same thing. With the driver, it's going to feel slightly different because the weight's going to change. It's going to feel heavier in the head for the majority of players out there trying this. So from this movement here, we're swinging up to the top, pressure down, push off. Rather than getting tense, I can't get a lot of speed doing that. So we're getting up, down, and whip the club through. Pushing off the ground, getting this whip to take place on the way through. I just realized I forgot a tee for this. Let me just get a tee and then I'll hit a shot for you just to finish. Right then, so the keys to remember for those of you who are going to try this, and I would highly recommend giving this a try and persevering with this, by the way. So now you've got the lower body and upper body working in an efficient way. How can we progress from this? If you'd like me to create a follow-up video based on this topic and how we can maintain and push our boundaries and increase our swing speed even more, create a plan together, a video for this, make sure you drop a comment down below. I'd like to see at least 10 comments down below asking for this video, and I'll get planning on that for you. And if you've come this far, you may as well check out my recent upload up here. Or if you're interested to learn more about my speed training, I documented this on a playlist down in the corner just there. So feel free to click on that if you'd like to see more about that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.